request for a continuance under an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. Susan Moran, 390 and 402 Wild Harbor Road, North Falmouth, Massachusetts. This one's been read in several times.
Yes, they asked, this is gonna be their second request for a continuance. We should have a revised plan for your January 24th agenda.
So I move that.
They went out, Mark and the Brad Holmes, who did the wetland delineation, went out and kind of hashed it out over the last couple of days, so.
So I move that we approve continuance to the 24th of January.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, unanimous, so moved. All right, requests for determination of applicability. I'm going to go down to Peter Bennett, 344 Quistit Avenue, Woods Hole. This is another request for continuance that is kind of late breaking, which is why it's down there.
Yes, Madam Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until the January 24th hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. All right. Quistit Harbor Boatyard, Inc., 36 Quistit Avenue, Falmouth, Massachusetts, for permission to repair and maintain the existing licensed timber pier, which includes the L section of the pier, decking replacement, timber framings, and pilings using a floating barge.
Yes, we're recommending a -2 under the state and the bylaw with the resource area boundaries not confirmed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments from the board, questions, anything from the public? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. National Academy of Sciences, J. Eric Johnson Center, 314 Quistit Avenue, Falmouth, Massachusetts, for permission to repair the existing licensed timber pier, which includes replacing float pilings in the same location using a floating barge.
Again, Madam Chairman, we're recommending a -2 under the state and the bylaw with the resource area boundaries not confirmed.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Any from the public? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous, so moved. Okay, excuse me. Next, we have requests for hearings under a notice of intent. Noah and Caroline Clements, 21 Little Lane, East Falmouth, Massachusetts, for permission to construct a single-family house with a screened porch, decks with stairs, install a step wall, Title V sewage disposal system, utilities, dry wells, stone driveway, native mitigation plantings, and the associated clearing, excavating, grading, and landscaping. 1 second, I'm sorry, I forgot to read my... Okay. All hearings of Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. Good evening, Raoul.
Good evening. For the record, Raul Lizardi from Cape and Islands Engineering, representing the applicant. The project is at number 21 Little Lane in East Falmouth. The applicant, like it was read, is Noah and Caroline Clements. The project is the construction of a new single-family residence. Resources on or within 100 feet of the project is the ACEC associated with Wacoit Bay, which is elevation 811. There's a coastal bank. There's a BVW, land subject to coastal stone flowage, and land under water body, which is Bourne's Pond. This property currently does not have a single-family residence, but record documents and plans show that in 1968 and 1975, there was an existing dwelling on this property and also a barn. Those two structures no longer exist. There are two other structures on the property, which is a greenhouse and another barn. The existing property also contains a lot of clearing on the property, and in those same record documents, the plans and the aerial imagery shows that that clearing has been in existence prior to 1976. The owner proposes to build a new single-family dwelling. He also wants to use advantage of the existing slope on the property to do a walkout. That's the reason the house is located in that location, so that we have a first floor and then a walkout out the back. All of the proposed structures are located within buffer zone B. No proposed work is within buffer zone A other than the mitigation planting. Because we are not proposing to completely revegetate buffer zone A, the purpose is that the owner wants to keep a 4-foot path all the way to the pond. We're proposing to revegetate as much as possible except for the path, and then that area of the path that we're leaving cleared, we're compensating for that area in buffer zone B. So we're proposing 2,660 square feet of mitigation plantings exceeding the buffer zone A line because we don't have a full buffer zone A. The proposed septic system is located outside of the buffer zone B. The majority of the house is located in buffer zone B, except for about 50% of the front porch. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
All right, thank you. You have questions for
No, I
Raul?
don't.
Okay.
I've already reviewed the project with Raul.
I suspected that.
And I did have some comments, but I believe you addressed it. You should be
You have a revised plan?
revised plan, yes.
Okay. All right. Mark?
Are you planning to do anything about the path to the water? I couldn't really find it.
So they're keeping it. It's currently a clear path. It's just maintained, mowed down, and that's what they keep.
It's pretty steep down near the water.
It gets pretty steep once you get to the 20, 30 feet from the edge of the water,
Well, you're just gonna leave it?
but they're just going
natural.
to keep it.
Doesn't look like there's much call to use it anyway. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Not obvious. That's it.
That's it.
All right, thank you. Steve?
I had the same question about the path.
That's it.
That's it.
Jamie?
I'm not sure it's relevant. Is there any changes to the barn?
None proposed other than services. There is a proposed propane tank that's going to service utility, and there's a proposed water service to it. Other than that, and electricity to it. Other than that, no indications to us that there's any
Does it have
more
any
work.
any living space in it?
I believe there's a second story to the barn. I don't know if it's used. Currently, the barn is not being used, but I don't know if the owner has any intentions for it.
Thank you. I think I'm good for now.
Betsy?
I have no question.
Maureen?
I had a couple, Raul. First of all, there's not a PLS stamp on this, so we're probably gonna need that. And the barn is over the lot line, the overhang, the roof overhang. I don't know if that's not one of our issues, but it's gonna be something that's gonna come up somewhere. So those two things, and then in the field, the lot lines weren't staked, the septic wasn't staked, and the path wasn't staked. And I think that's maybe where Mark, I actually had trouble. I knew it was on the plan, but I couldn't find it on the land. So prior to work, we'll condition that it needs to be staked, so that at least we know that it doesn't get bigger or moved or whatever. Not that it's that big of a deal, it's just, we like staking.
Right. Something that I'm thinking that the commissioners may probably put it down in writing is that the path, if you see, is hugging the right side of the access towards the water, which is actually the shortest distance. So in a way that kind of minimizes the amount of open space land. And if it's conditioned that's going to be kept to the right side of the existing clearing, it will also hold true that it will be the shortest distance.
Okay, and not only that, but I like the way it sort of it's on an angle,
Meanders,
so you're not
right.
gonna get like a big runoff. All right, so, and this, you didn't state that it is, a portion of this is in the ACEC. It's on your plan, but just so it's on record. When the water line comes in, you have a 30-inch oak there. Is there any way the water line could be moved a little to the south so that could be saved?
Yes, the client does want to keep those big trees on the property, so the utilities will be worked
Around them.
around
Perfect. Beautiful.
those trees.
Okay?
Let's make sure that's.
It's in my notes that it'll be there. And then with the new mitigation planting, I'd also like to see maybe the limit of work on that west side to be on the 30-foot contour line. I think it's the 30-foot. Let me double make sure. The 30-foot, yeah. Because that way there, it saves that 26-inch tree. You've got the limit of work on top of a tree. And then I did have a concern with the septic, that you have probably one of the most beautiful oaks I've ever seen, besides the beautiful maple on that property. By the way, that is one of the most beautiful properties
Yeah.
I've been to in a long time. It's,
So
well,
you
we've
want the
been,
limit of
last
work
week,
to follow that 30-foot
30-foot contour. And the septic, if it was just tweaked a little bit and moved, that huge oak that's on the steep side of the bank, could be saved. I mean, and you have plenty of room for the septic. It's not an issue whatsoever.
Are you talking about the 2x10?
Where the 210 says, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the most magnificent oak. And then, obviously, you have to deal with zoning for the primary structure not in front of the front of the lot. And, let's see, make sure that the driveway is pitched away from the resources, so that when it's a gravel driveway, they just pitch it back. And other than that, I don't know what we do about the PLS stamp, but I'm sure you could give us a revised plan with that.
None of the setbacks are to minimums. So in a design like that, usually a PE stamp would suffice, but we can submit a stamp with a PLS signature.
And, Raul, the town's position is that it has to be stamped by a PLS, so. So if you could just, in the future, with this company, just have them stamp it, would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, and on that 30-foot, the 24-inch deciduous, you'll be to the upland of that, so that gets saved as well. Where the 30-foot contour is, where we're gonna make the limit of work.
Yeah, we can agree to that condition
Yeah.
to keep the,
It's apparent you like the trees there.
yeah, and the limit of work at 30 works because the walkout is at 30.3, so that still leaves enough area for the grading so that it pitches away from the walkout area.
All right, because you don't show a whole lot of grading changes, only up where the wall is.
So, right, but the 32 contour, which
Yeah.
curves around the back of the house,
Yeah?
that will have to be dropped down to the 30s. So
you're gonna-
there's grading on the side of the house. The 32 is the first grading that's getting pulled back.
Okay, I guess I just didn't see the reduction in the grade, from 32 to 30 on the plan, but I'm gonna look at the revised. Did you put on the revised plan?
Yeah, it's on both. To the right side of the house, you do see
No.
the 32 grade.
30 times 3? Is that what all those? But I'm asking you, 30 times 3, 30 times 2, what do those mean?
Those are spot grades, proposed
Spot
spot
grades.
grades, yes.
Okay, I've just never seen them with like times 2, whatever. Okay, so the 32 is now, the original grade is now gonna be at 30, is what you're
Yes,
saying?
it's going to be in the low 30s.
Okay, so I only see the spot change way up by the house. I don't see it on the 32 contour.
If you
I
follow
see it over by the dry well.
if you follow the septic system, behind the septic system, there's a existing 32 grade
Yeah,
and a proposed 32 grade
Yeah.
that dies on the side of the house.
yeah, I see that.
Right, so that implies that the existing 30s, you're getting pulled back towards the house.
Ah, I see.
Okay, gotcha.
And then on the left side of the house, the 32 comes out.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay, so, but we can still save that tree. Because you don't have any
Yeah,
changes
there's
there.
nothing proposed around that tree. So,
Okay.
yeah, shifting the limit of work up to the 30-foot contour,
Yeah.
we have no problem with that.
Yep. Thank you very much, and that is a beautiful site.
Certainly is. Courtney?
No, I don't have any questions. Lori, I share Lori's concern about moving the septical slightly to save that tree, but, I think also that's outside of our jurisdiction, is it not?
No, it's all in the flood zone.
It's not all in the flood zone. Flood zone ends at elevation 11.
No.
I thought it said it.
The septic system is completely outside
Out of
of the
our jurisdiction.
jurisdiction.
Well, I bet you he'd like that tree. I don't know why you'd cut it down. It's not blocking a view.
The owner does like his trees, So
Okay.
the owner will probably take a look at this.
Only a suggestion. Thank you.
How many bedrooms are you planning on?
If I'm not mistaken, it's a 5-bedroom design.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't get a second sheet on the septic.
Okay, I'm just wondering, between that and the, the water being run to the barn and the plans for the barn, what, whether you may have an issue, but I guess,
Right, the barn, we're connecting it to the septic system, because if there is a water service feeding the barn, there's gonna be sinks or what have you.
right.
And the drains have to go into a septic system, so we have to connect it to the septic system.
Right, I
design
don't
flow.
question that, I just, am questioning whether there's going to be bedrooms in the barn.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know what proposed work is gonna be done to the barn other than utilities.
I would design it. If you're digging a hole, one more flow diffuser is a lot cheaper than adding on. And it's out of our jurisdiction, so that's a. It looks like it's like a 4 to 5 bedroom, yeah. 4 or 5 bedroom,
We just said five.
5.
Yeah, so,
But you're saying you might add
yeah,
2 more,
right.
summertime.
Barn's gonna-
There's nothing wrong in the septic system being designed or built bigger than the design.
Yeah,
But when the septic system design goes to the health department,
right,
if they have any plans for the barn, it will have to be addressed at that time.
right, yes, I understand. All right, anything else from the board?
Make a motion, the public all set? Make a motion to close the hearing, take it under advisement.
All right, anything else from the board? Anything from the public?
He'll give us a-
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, unanimous, so moved. Very nice place.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right, so, the next item on the agenda, request to amend the existing order of conditions, is this being continued?
This is gonna be continued until the 24th.
We need a motion, please?
Make a motion. Second. Betsy motioned it.
The Lawrence White 194 Acapesket Road has been continued
Till the 24th?
to January 24th, yes.
That's gonna be fun, isn't it?
So,
Actually, no, that's.
that was a
It'll be interesting.
quick agenda. We have left to vote orders of conditions.
This could be a reference.
Maybe not quick,
You're
but
not
we'll
paying for
see.
that.
Good night. All right, first, 331 Edgewater Drive West.
Okay, one. Yes.
Your reconstruction.
What's the first
I'm
one?
sorry.
Edgewater?
Okay.
What'd you say?
It's the pure reconstruction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a minute, I'm from Rand's Canal. Edgewater, closed.
Right.
So it was the dock reconstruction in the velocity zone that the staff had concerns about the float matching the T now. Mike, having talked me through the plan, I'm okay with that now. I mean, staff is always gonna have a concern going from these types of smaller seasonal structures to larger ones, but it will make this dock more resilient. It really will.
I would agree with that. Would also be preferable, I think, to have a T formation, but because of the water depth, I guess it's not practical here.
And a grate over the salt mark.
Didn't you have a new plan that shows us where the mooring field is, please?
Correct.
Yes,
Yes, he was supposed to give us the mooring field, and he was also.
south side ladder.
Yeah. And a railing on it, which he
Revised.
showed.
But we don't know what side
Yeah.
it's on.
Plan, mooring.
Huh?
And then.
Yeah, and the ladder, right?
Well, he said there wasn't gonna be a ladder.
Oh,
didn't he?
that's, yeah, you're right.
Why do I have a south side ladder?
jump 4.5 feet.
Question mark.
Because
Discussed the
we
ladder.
discussed the
Oh, but
ladder.
we asked about it.
Oh, okay.
And Mark had a concern that they're gonna yank the kayaks up onto the salt marsh, because now that it's a fixed pier, they can't get it onto the dock.
Right.
So we should make a finding that there's no tromping the salt marsh, not that we can ever
And
enforce
railing
it.
on one side of the fixed T.
It could be on both sides.
No,
Well,
Well,
then
it could,
they couldn't,
yeah.
you know, if they were inclined to maybe
could.
push the kayaks up, then they couldn't do it. The both sides and
True.
railings,
True.
so.
Or they could just put them on the float and then pull them up.
Yes.
Because, I mean, when you went, like today when I was at that Acapesket lot, every one of them had two railings. And I think that was
Yeah.
probably exactly why we did it, so that they can't dock on either side and keep them from getting into the shallow water. And that float's big enough that they can drag it up on that, and they'd probably end up I don't know how they're gonna get up there, but
We're
that's the-
talking two railings for the ramp, but one railing on the float?
I didn't think we had
I'm
any-
talking about what's on the float.
Oh, I didn't,
Shouldn't there be a railing on one side of the float?
There isn't
It's-
usually, is there?
Well, if you have
Well,
a
it's a
mooring
fixed
field
pier
just
now.
on one side.
it's a fixed pier, so there's no float.
That's
is no
right,
float.
that's
Yeah.
right,
So, yeah.
that's right, yeah.
It
That's
goes,
what, I mean,
goes all
I
the way
figured there
down.
was a railing on either side when you walk down the
yeah,
pier,
yeah.
so you don't fall
Fall
off
off.
one side or the other. But when you get out to the float, when you get out to the T, to the I,
Mm-hmm.
he has to choose where his mooring field's gonna be. And then he has to show us there's a railing on the other side.
Didn't he say there was gonna be a railing?
I can make a finding that the board's concerned about the salt marsh mark, and that will
Yeah.
address that, and then a special condition, there shall be no storage or boats along the marsh. And that should, I mean, short of putting barbed wire all around the salt marsh, it's a policing issue.
And then it has to have public access signs, and also Mike had mentioned that they're gonna put bubblers, so it doesn't freeze and pull the pilings.
Here it is.
Okay.
And if there is gonna be a ladder, he needs to give us an amended plan and ask permission.
No, I already have a revised plan with the
Okay.
mooring, so, and the railing, so.
Okay.
Can we suggest, so this'll come out next week. Can we suggest they also pull the old dock within a certain amount of time? Because
That's really in
that's
bad
gonna be
shape.
drifting pretty soon.
It's gonna be in the salt marsh.
Okay.
I move that we approve as discussed.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, unanimous, so moved. Okay, next, we have 87 Adamancic Road.
Another beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Adamance, it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
That's the patio and the restoration. I need to get my notes on that one.
And the pipe.
And the pipe, yes, Betsy's pipe.
And the pipe.
And I think that's gonna dry well, because they didn't design that.
Beth, can you do me a favor? Can you grab that plan over there and see if, I haven't seen a revised plan from Tom yet on that. And I know there were a number of notes we had on that.
Yeah, one concern was the switchgrass being at the edge of the plantings and how to keep that from being mowed.
All right, so do you want to do a split rail, or do you want to do shrubs in front of the switchgrass?
I would do a
Single rail?
single
Single
rail.
rail, yeah.
No.
And then, Maury,
Yep, that's
where are
it.
you on the issue of removing or not removing the diseased tree?
Yeah, I'm there, I'm getting my notes right now.
We're gonna stump sprout.
So you
Stump
want
sprout.
a single, oh my God, I just put single tree, single rail, single tree fence, single rail fence in front of the area of switchgrass, which is on the,
So, I think there are two areas.
There are two or three.
Yeah, there's one
so
kind of
along the mitigation. I'll just put along the restoration area.
Yeah, because there's one up toward the north and then the northeast.
Okay.
And the thing is, I think we made it clear that, putting in pretty pollinators that are not natives or whatever, people can do that. We don't,
Yeah.
we don't say you can't do it, you just can't include it as a mitigation or your restoration.
Right, doesn't count.
So, if they want to put the fence and then put, pretty perennial beds all in front of it, I mean, I think that would be beautiful.
Are we adding a cedar for some reason?
Yes, because she only had two.
Okay, add a cedar.
Yeah, it was left off by mistake, right?
Yeah.
And the trees they're gonna cut, because they say they're diseased, they're gonna stump sprout.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were also supposed to give us a revised plan showing the size and species of the existing trees.
Okay, hang on one sec. Flesh cut disease tree and
For the most
Allow-
part, it's there, isn't it?
No,
to,
no, none of these,
I want,
not all of them. They were just, the ones that were, I put question
oh,
marks.
you mean the new ones?
In the ones that.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and the ones that, there are a couple that they didn't, but just whatever ones aren't marked is to mark them.
Yeah, they're there, but they're not.
In the planting
Right,
plan.
yes,
Right, yeah.
yeah.
I'm looking at the other.
Like this big one here is nothing, we don't know what that is.
oh, you're talking the planting plan?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
a revised planting plan. Got it. All right.
No, it isn't.
And then I have install catch basin or connect to drainage, because they were either going to,
They were going to,
or they might have trenched that pipe along to the back.
Well,
They should put in a dry well.
incorporate all the existing drainage.
yeah.
All the roof runoff into a dry well, because I don't know if they sized that one off the patio that would hold all the roof runoff.
So
They
might-
sized it for the
Well,
patio
they
only.
sized it, they sized it for the west side. Is this west? They sized it, they did it for this side of the house.
What I have was that they were gonna connect that pipe
This side of
to
the house.
the
Yeah.
proposed
Right.
drainage
And this is
and,
where you had,
or they were gonna install a catch basin. Okay,
Yeah, but what she's saying is.
They just
we
need to
don't-
control it and not drain it the
yeah,
daylight.
yeah.
Well, they could do it this would make it
yeah,
bigger,
make that bigger.
make that bigger.
As long as the porch drain is sized to do all the other downspouts. Add it there. He could just put another infiltrator in there.
I'm gonna allow, do you wanna propose what they do, or do you wanna give them the choice?
I'd give
Give
it a
them a
choice.
choice,
Okay,
but
that's
they have to
what-
give us a
They
plan.
can engineer.
Oh, yeah,
A
they're gonna
plan
have,
to show what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
What their choice is.
yeah. Okay, so that's a revised site plan and a revised plan, okay.
Okay, that it? I think
And
so.
make a motion to approve this as discussed.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, unanimous. So moved.
Oh, my briefcase is
All
always
right,
so much
0
lighter.
Rand's Canal. This, the dredging.
Yes. Oh, that is so not my new one.
I have a note to myself, and I don't actually recall the discussion of this. No, I know what it means, but I don't recall that it was discussed, which is that they're planning to do a bit of restoration And I don't know that we talked about the timing of that, but I apparently was concerned that if it was done in the spring, it would get trampled in the summer.
What are you talking about, the 16-foot wide construction access?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that mainly,
Well, it's all beach grass, so
grass.
they
Beach
should,
grass.
they should do
at a
it,
certain time,
Yeah, okay.
right? Doesn't that have to be planted a certain time of year?
yeah.
It's actually winter, isn't it?
Yeah, November to April. They could plant it prior, they could restore that area, but plant it and then just kind of almost like put up install like a beach fence or snow fencing along to
Till it
keep
gets-
people
Yeah.
off.
gets
Protect it
established,
somewhere
yeah.
around.
Okay.
Although, that's a pretty windy area too. Better be secure, beach fence.
And the only thing I had on my question or concern was that 60-foot crane reach.
I was just,
Hang on,
I was just gonna
stop.
say, you want a new plan with that out.
Oh, we wanted a new plan with that off, and maybe we got one, I'm gonna look. No, it's on all of them. That just sort of
So snow
encourages
Yeah.
reaching,
Overdoing it.
overreaching.
Okay. Last plan with,
Thinking, I can do this, I don't know how to run these things.
okay.
And then we had the shellfish relay, I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, we don't
No, I
know.
think that's under Chuck, isn't that under Chuck's
Yep.
direction?
Yep.
So as long as somebody's out there, I remember when they dredged,
Well, we're just gonna say that, you know, all the shellfish needs to be relayed under the direction of the MES.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah,
Do you remember when they did Rand's Canal, not Rand's Canal, Fiddler's Cove? And they probably, there was 500-600 bushels of quahogs and probably 2,000 bushels of soft shell clams, all shot up, and scallops all up on the beach.
oh, you mean they didn't take them out?
No,
Oh,
that takes time and money.
Well, they'll be coming back before you.
That's why I
letting you
just
know
want to
that
make
one.
sure that prior to that, when they start, that they've coordinated with Chuck and he is on site during that, or whatever, I don't know how they do it, but I don't want them to start digging and then.
What I
Usually they
can
go in
say more-
before.
More, what I can say is that they're going to need to coordinate with MES
Perfect.
prior to remove the shellfish. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Okay, perfect.
All the soft shells up there.
I don't know.
I don't know about Rands.
yeah,
I don't know about
wouldn't
Rand's.
Definitely
Usually
quahog,
quahog.
Yeah,
It's pretty-
so they're
it's
easily
pretty,
relayed.
Yeah,
Large grain, sand.
of course.
Soft shell usually like
Yeah,
Fine.
soft,
very
little fine sand. Okay.
I move that we approve as discussed.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved.
We'll do a confirmation from MES that they've done it.
All right, 2 Wigwam Road.
Okay, this is the therapy pool, pad. There do need to be some findings before you guys start talking about, I just called this wigwam.
Wigwam.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm right, it just looks strange when I wrote it.
Wigwam.
I know, but I just wrote it and I'm like, that looks strange. Just the finding, I think there should be a finding that all that pea stone was installed without a permit. And that is from, where's my plan? This side of the project.
That would be the north.
Yeah, hang on, I'll get it.
I believe. Wigwam.
Yeah, on the north and east side of the deck.
I haven't been convinced that they can't put that pool right in the deck.
It's cost prohibitive, as is all the planting that they ought to do.
I don't think that's under our purview, whether it's cost prohibitive or.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I don't,
But that's what
That
they
was
did
their
state.
argument.
That was their
It
argument.
isn't cost prohibitive,
So,
that was
Jen?
their argument. Yes, ma'am?
I think you should
It's
say
not.
that existing
I'm
altered
sorry.
land is 20,380 square feet.
Which is 13,000 something or other more than allowed.
All right, Beth, hang on.
14,380 square feet.
Hang on, let me follow along.
No, it's,
You're allowed 6,000.
I know,
Or
so it's
10%.
13,000 something.
You're allowed-
Oh, 6 minus 20, 20 minus 6 is 14.
Yeah, but
That's correct.
Yes, correct.
All right, guys, hang on one second. Sorry, I'm just trying to find something so I can, oh, got it.
no, I don't agree that
Just save them
it's
when it
cost
comes.
prohibitive, that's.
Well, it's never, you
I've
know,
built
it's
these
not
things
an
before.
argument that people bring to us normally,
Yeah.
for good reason.
16,300.
They try more than you'd think, Mary.
Well, it doesn't get as far
I
as
know.
this
Then-
room,
and then
you
they
get to
butt-
hear it.
I get to hear it, but
So I think you should make a finding that this house was built prior to the DC regulations, and it has more disturbance than would be allowed in new,
Right.
A new pro, yeah,
you know,
new project.
significantly more,
14,380
60
square feet
16
more,
to be exact.
which is a lot of square feet.
Yeah.
And the, whatever they're willing to give us, 430 square feet or something,
468 is the,
what they're offering.
what they're offering, and then there's another 432 square feet required as mitigation.
Right, so the,
For the
how much was
slab.
it?
But it
How
should have
much was
been
the first
18,
thing?
right?
468.
The 468, where they're willing to give us that 468, which they say is disturbing, it's not impervious surface.
Yeah,
How
I'm not
much
convinced
should-
they're reducing
No.
the area.
It's not impervious surface, it's covered with,
Bark mulch,
Bark
where they,
mulch.
because they mowed it all,
and if they just let it go, it would
be
come
natural.
back.
Which is why I'm going back to my point about being in the deck. They're gonna put a concrete
Well,
slab in.
what- They can make their choice. It's not our job to do it, but if they want this, they have some options. And if they want it where they're proposing it, they still have some options. They can do it,
Right.
but they have to reduce the
Impervious
impervious surface,
surfaces.
disturbed surfaces by 1,400 and,
In the A buffer.
no, 1,820 square feet. Not in the A buffer, in the DCPC.
DCPC, it's all DCPC.
Anything from
That's
this
an
end of the
area of
table?
about what?
I'm not
30 by 60.
sure if there was a different point of view
No, not
down
on the
there.
quorum. This-
Yeah.
Oh,
30 by
that's
60.
right, that's right, we did go through that.
30 by 60
You
area.
have a comment?
Pardon?
No, I have no comment.
Could be
yet.
the-
You're all-
And we're
you're
not even
okay?
sure the fire pit was ever
I'm not quite
permitted
sure where
either.
they've concluded yet.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure either, but,
Stand by.
If it
Do
wasn't
you have
permitted, shouldn't they take it out?
okay.
Do you have
We'd be
enough,
having private conversation.
Jen?
Right now, I mean, I'm assuming that we're gonna make the finding that the pea stone was installed with a permit, that the land is, you know, the land was developed prior to the DCPC, it's significantly more disturbed than what the current DCPC regs allow, that the applicant, basically has options on the site, to site the, therapy pool within previously disturbed area. Go through the calculations of what's required, what's being proposed. You know, that you find that they can reduce the impervious surface on the lot to comply with the DCPC regs.
And that over the time, various trees on the lot have disappeared.
especially, yeah, all those cedars, pretty much on that bank where they want to give us all in the green, the restoration planting where the pool is. That, if you look at all the aerials, and even the picture that he referenced, those were all cedar trees there, and none of those are there anymore. I know one he said was leaning and dead, but there, if you can count the stems, the trunks here, there are about 8 of them. And that now is all cleared. So basically, everything from the top of the coastal bank landward is gone.
They, I don't recall that they supplied construction drawings, did they? Like
No,
cross
because it's just a pre-built therapy pool.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, pre-built therapy pools can get pretty elaborate with coping around them and wood framing and all of that. And that stuff, I can see, that's the kind of stuff that kind of creeps into the equation.
Like the one down the
as they build it. Trust me, I've seen it happen.
We
So
saw it on a
I'd like to
different site.
see
Well, he
construction
did tell
drawings
us that
before they
the
start.
pool was,
Well,
I
didn't
don't remember the figure, but 7 by 7, but with all the equipment, it came out to the,
No,
12 by 12.
I understand.
so I think he's satisfied, all I'm saying is I think he's satisfied that.
Yeah, he
piece
did.
of it.
we have a,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
a picture of the actual pool?
No, I understand. They have a picture of it and everything else. But I also know that when you get out there and you're building it,
You
say,
don't
oh,
build
yeah,
it,
we can
you just
embellish
bring it
this
in.
with a nice wood coping on the side, maybe a little walkway
Mark,
around.
what Courtney is getting at is that when the pool goes in, if it is unsightly, then they may decide to build like a wood veneer around
Gotcha.
it to kind of
Well, and also
blend
a
it into
little
the
bit of a
deck.
walkway around, so
Yeah.
they can walk around it,
Yeah.
you know, a couple of feet. I can see that happening. And all of a sudden, it's there, and it's not permitted, and we're back to heart
Well, I
attack
can't
central.
tell-
So I'm just thinking that we should ask them to submit construction drawings with cross-sections of what they propose to do with the pool and any other accoutrements.
Well,
Okay.
No,
Have to
I
be
don't think
contained
that's how
within-
you should put it. I
It'd have to be
think,
contained within the 12 by 12, no?
Yeah.
I
Footprint.
think you say it has to be contained within, and if there's any deviation, then it has to come back.
That's fair enough, too.
Right, that's fair enough, that's good.
Yeah, either way, just so
Because you
that
don't know
that we have a
what people
check
are
on
gonna
it,
do.
yeah.
All right, so I guess
Must be contained
so
within.
are we saying we're gonna
Yeah, I
let
have the
them do
same
the pool?
question.
I mean, again, I'm going back to the gravel that was illegal work done, the trees that were gone. I'm not sure, I mean, even if they take out, I mean, maybe driveway, but they have the fire pit that they could never have proof. You look at the aerials, it's not in 2005, but it's in 2015. The shed appears to have been there for a long time, not maybe forever, but I mean, a long time. But the fire pit, the tiki bar, all those walkways, all that impervious stuff that's to the south, you know, they didn't offer to say, all right, well, we can't even prove that it was legally permitted, number one, and then number two, they didn't make any offer to remove that from mitigation, and we don't allow mitigation within 10 feet of the house. So, you know, they're,
I think Courtney's just saying, if this gets approved, and it
Yeah.
potentially could get
Yeah.
approved, then that should be in as a
okay,
finding.
gotcha, okay.
Jamie?
I was just gonna, I don't know if Maury might have just said it, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Why can't we just require the 820 square feet of mitigation?
But
Or would
They
we give them that choice?
they didn't offer it.
We gave them that choice
We gave them the choice at the hearing.
in the hearing before.
It
And
would be-
basically,
it
they
would
said
be
they don't want to
four-
pay for it.
Yeah.
It would be almost 1,300 more square feet than they're proposing right now, Jamie. It's significant.
So you're asking them to take something away instead?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what they
It's the
would have
only
to
way.
do. They either, I mean, to do that, they would need to
Reduce it, yeah.
remove impervious surface on the lot,
Right.
which could be done, absolutely be done on this particular lot. And we've had people in the DCPC
But we're
do
gonna
that.
require something, so that's, right, so.
Well, basically, your what the argument is your DCPC regulations require, you know, this. You can disturb this much. If you're over that, you have to bring 10% of that back to naturally vegetated cover. That brings that total around 1,800, correct? Right?
Yep.
They're offering 468.
Right, you remember
Oh,
Brian?
I understand that. I'm asking why we can't just require the 18.
Because this is what they offered.
You
Okay.
can, I mean, you
So we're gonna
can,
accept that
You
other than
could
not.
require
We're
it.
voting on what they say. If they choose to come back in again, they can do it again.
Okay.
But they're given the opportunity twice to, well, first they were given the opportunity to put it somewhere else that
Right.
would alleviate a problem of having to deal with DCPC, although when we first talked about that, they didn't even acknowledge that it was a DCPC. And obviously, one of the findings should be the importance of the DCPC.
Yep.
And then the second time they came in, well, the second time they came in, they handed something out, but it didn't even have correct DCPC calculations. This time they have the correct calculations, and,
And an argument that we have discretion to give them what they want.
right,
And the reason they don't want to do it is because it's cost prohibitive.
Right.
so
So-
I'm gonna put a positive motion on the table to accept this, but I just want to remind everyone who might not have had to have a vote like this, if you don't accept it, vote no. So,
Basically, you're putting a positive motion on the table to approve the plan as submitted.
right.
If you
With
don't
the-
want to
With the
vote, yeah.
qualifications that you put in there.
Yeah, with all the findings we did. If you do not want to approve the plan, you need to vote no.
Okay, so we have a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, does anybody want to say anything else before we take the vote? Mark,
I'm all set.
you're all set. All right, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
The motion doesn't pass.
I
Doesn't
abstain.
pass.
I'm not on the
He-
quorum.
You can't abstain.
Steve's
not on the
abstaining over
quorum.
there.
You just irrelevant to the whole.
You don't-
Steve,
The way it,
I should have left the room.
All right, we've
No,
done
no,
that.
No, Steve. you
no
don't have to do
conflict,
that.
you're just not,
Steve,
Okay, guys,
Steve,
Right, we did that.
we've been told.
just to let you know,
it's
your
5-1.
Your other vote orders of conditions, the Steamship Authority is reopening that hearing, and we'll be hearing it on the 24th. And Grove Street, whoever caught that it wasn't on the agenda, I'm assuming is Jamie, it'll be on next week. It was just an oversight on Courtney's part. So it'll be on your next week's agenda.
Courtney, how could you do
Can I
that?
explain something to Steve?
Oh, no, I understand.
I think he's joshing us. Is that right?
That's correct.
Well, I mean, it was information that we were
That's why I
given.
named my son Josh.
If you say
You're just Josh.
you abstain,
Yes, I know.
You're actually voting.
you're voting.
We beat that to death last week.
Right.
I'm saving
I
this
wanted
one
to
because I
He was
feel this
joking.
one.
Madam Chairman,
Guys?
Yes.
I have a
And
question.
can this order get out like
Madam
tomorrow?
Chair?
Yes.
Well, maybe
Now, we
Friday.
have talked as
Yeah, no.
alternative about reducing the impervious area on the lot. How does that information get to the applicant?
At the hearing. To do what now? To take
How
away
would we-
How does that
impervious?
alternative get to the applicant?
What alternative?
I told them that last week.
No, but
It's in the
I mean
minutes.
officially, sort of, would they come in and talk to you and say, gee, you disapproved it, what can we do? Or
Well,
do
basically,
we send
at
a
this
letter?
point, well, no, at this point, we'll issue your decision, we'll issue a not approved, we'll issue a denial for the project. It'll be without prejudice,
Right.
and, they can come in and talk to us about their alternatives, they can appeal your decision, there are a number of avenues, That's all.
Well,
Yeah. I've
the
already met with
rationale
them.
also
Mark, I've already,
is in the
Courthouse.
findings.
Mark, I've met with them twice before they came to you.
Yeah.
Between.
No, I think before they came, I met with them twice.
Right.
And not only that, but it was I'm gonna keep these minutes, because in these minutes, we said there were alternatives that they could do. That they could get rid of the
ACE.
fire pit, they could get rid of the shed, or they could even just move the shed onto the impervious
There are lots of
surface.
alternatives, I just hope that they have
Yeah.
access to
Well,
them.
believe
Yeah,
me,
they do, and
Mike Borselli
the
knows.
important-
Brian,
Oh, yeah, they have access, do you know, to staff, to you guys, or to staff?
what?
Did Mark say he hopes they have access to information?
The alternative, whether they get it in the discussion we had previously, or if they can come in and talk to you and say, hey, what can I do?
Of course they can.
They certainly have that option.
We've got to have a path to move forward, that's all.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think it should be apparent in the findings as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Did anybody make a motion to adjourn?
I make a
No, I
motion
have
to
one
adjourn.
thing,
Oh,
guys, I'm sorry. I had put little things in your packets about the MACC conference.
Yeah, I cannot, that's, I'm
That's okay,
pre-committed.
I understand Jamie and I may not be able to go depending on the outcome of next week's Coastal Resiliency Action Committee meeting, but I will be sending staff members, so if anybody would like to go, please let me know, and I will, we'll sign you up,
Great.
okay?
You'll arrange the carpool.
I will arrange the carpool and everything.
We used to go in the
Thank
big
you,
van.
MACC, Mass
Remember that?
Association of
That one used to be
Conservation
fun.
Commissioners Annual Conference.
Yeah, I went once by
You are-
myself.
Oh, it's fun.
Well, I sat with a bunch of people who, when I said I was from Falmouth, they all went, oh.
We used to get the big van when we had site visits, on
Did
site.
we adjourn?
No, we haven't adjourned. Let's adjourn.
Somebody, second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, unanimous, so moved.